All right, let's jump into the Raw show here. We've gone over the quick points earlier, the main points, but let's jump into all the details. Steph comes out. She has a huge announcement. She is adding a fourth person to the match. It is herself, Stephanie McMahon. Best trolling she's done in a year. Reveals as an April Fool's joke and just announces winner takes all. One person leaving Sunday with all the belts. That was it. She left. So there you go.
Yep.
Had a Lesnar-Heyman segment, which was fine. Lesnar-Heyman out there basically talking about how it's also winner-take-all in this match. Brock's going to take whatever Seth throws at him, and he's going to take everything he has in life. Because that's what he does to people at WrestleMania. He broke the streak, vows to end Seth's career.
He beat Roman Reigns when nobody thought he would.
Yep. And then Seth comes out and says, it's the biggest match of my career, biggest match of Brock's career. Might be improbable that I beat him, but not impossible. I'm going to beat him, take his title. There's not a damn thing Brock can do about it. So the crowd chants, burn it down. Brock goes to leave. Seth boots him low. Brock gives him a suplex. Seth is his second low blow. Super kick, curb stomp, leaves Brock laying. Raises the title, tosses it down, and off he goes. Good segment. They gave him some credibility, which he needed.
He needed bad. I'll tell you what, that segment was originally written to go the other way. And it was like right before the show started, they switched it, and it was Vince's call, and it was the right call. But I was shocked when I heard that because it was like, come on. I mean, when you have like to me, when you have like a challenger that everyone thinks is going to blow past the champion, you can get heat on him, especially if it's a babyface because the fans are behind him. When you have a situation where fans don't believe that babyface is going to win necessarily, you've got to sell them on the idea that he can. And Seth already had that one segment where he took all those F5s, and he's never had a comeback on Brock this whole build. So he needed this, I think. I mean, do you really? I mean, like, obviously none of this really matters in the big picture. WrestleMania's already sold out. It's whatever. But I'm just saying as far as like, now I'm just talking about storytelling to build tension for the match. You want to do a segment to have people believe that Seth Rollins can get the better of Brock Lesnar. So I think that you needed this segment, and they did it.
Charlie interviewed Seth and basically told him, if you do Sunday what you did tonight, you'll be disqualified. You will not be champion. And his response was, I'm not champion. Yet. What? Didn't answer the question at all. But yes, if he low blows Brock, he will be disqualified. He will not be the champion.
Yeah, he didn't have a great answer, did he?
No.
Yeah, you know what? They never should ask that question because that was completely lame.
We have Natalya, Beth, Sasha, and Bayley versus Nia, Tamina, and the Iconics.
Oh!
Yeah, so they worked the Iconics the entire time.
There were some people who absolutely didn't look like they belonged in this promotion.
Well, yeah, this was not good. They teased essentially with the baby faces early, and the Iconics worked the entire first part of the match. Went to tag Nia and Tamina. They dropped off the apron. Beth got the hot tag. Beth was better than anybody on the heel team, and she got low bridged.
She hasn't worked in like 6 years.
Yep,
I know.
I watched this match and I was like, God damn, she's a Hall of Famer. Jesus, look at her in there.
Yeah, she was good, but I think it was okay. She was good, but this was a low bar.
It was a very, very low bar. You're absolutely right.
Look at, like, I was watching Sasha Banks, who's a hell of a worker, and my God, I mean, it's probably the worst Sasha Banks stuff that I've seen, and I don't know if it's, I'm not saying whose fault it was. I just know that I couldn't believe my eyes.
She botched running up the ropes. Then she tried a rope-assisted arm drag from the bottom rope, which I think was also a botch.
Okay, now the trip was her fault. Nobody, unless somebody cast a spell on her, which perhaps watching this match, maybe somebody cast a spell on the entire match. But yeah, so I mean that actually would be on her. But some of the stuff when it came to working with the Iconics in particular, Sasha, hopefully they have a better night on Sunday.
So Beth ran wild. Tamina low bridged her. Beth speared through the barricade, got back in the ring, hit Peyton with the glam slam for the pin. Yes, by far the highlight of this match, Beth Phoenix. Beth
Phoenix's comeback at the end, sure. Oh yeah, and she did that spear thing through the barricade. That was, that really, because you do that spot always gets over. It's a guarantee. So they, whoever they give it to, is someone who they they want to see get a pop, and they gave it to her, and she pulled it off. It looked great.
Batista arrived, came out for a promo, got a big-time superstar reaction, points to the big screen. They got this long Hunter versus Batista video package, clips of Dave beating him one time after another and noting Hunter has done everything in this business except one thing, beat me. They go back to Dave, and he looks in the camera and says, Hunter, kiss my ass. And he drops the mic, puts his sunglasses on, and that's it. My kind of angle. Keep it simple.
Yeah, I liked it too. But the one thing, I thought that the reaction to him was interesting because he's in Washington, D.C., which is his hometown. And he's playing total Hollywood douche. So it's kind of like, that's not like a compelling character to cheer. So, I mean, the people reacted to him like, and he's a big star.
Chanted, welcome back.
There was some. There absolutely, okay. There were definitely people who were chanting for him, but it was not heavy. It was more, I really sensed that people didn't know how to react to him because they didn't want to boo him, but his demeanor wasn't like conducive to getting cheered, even though, yes, of course, it's his hometown. There were going to be some people who cheered him. But I think it was more like, I could see that crowd really, the majority of that crowd really didn't seem like they, were passionate, other than he's a big star. Like as far as like, are we supposed, I think they were going like, God, I want to cheer him, but God damn, look what he's wearing and everything.
More with the Drifter outside MetLife Stadium. He vowed no interruptions at WrestleMania, so of course there will be. Then we had a pointless segment. Apollo Crews, Jinder Mahal, with everybody in the Battle Royal at ringside.
Well, it's just to tell everyone there's a Battle Royal.
Apollo won, then everyone hit the ring. Another Battle Royal. Came down to Jinder, the Singh brothers, and Apollo again. And Apollo threw him out and won a second time. That was the match.
Yeah.
We had Kurt Angle come out for his promo. So they canceled his match with Ray. Didn't happen.
Good.
Yep. So
well, I would say good until I saw that match with Corbin. It's still good, but I'm tempering the good because I had to watch that Corbin match.
So Kurt's talking about how this is his last night ever on Raw. We'll never see him on Raw again, he says.
I hope that's not true.
Wants to know how appreciative he was of all the good times and the bad. So suddenly a voice pipes up and says, check out the Titantron for a special video on Kurt Angle. And Kurt looked surprised. So I thought, well, this must be some angle where Corbin plays some video burying him. And instead, it's one of the best videos WWE's done forever. A look at the career of Kurt Angle.
Well, only the WWE career, but still. Goddamn, Kurt Angle was so great.
He was an all-time great.
An all-time great. Kurt Angle. I think that it's weird because I don't think people see Kurt Angle like they see like Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. But Kurt Angle really was like, I remember when he was in his prime, and even after what I would say like even in the TNA years, for years in TNA, where I would watch him and go, this is one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. He is, I mean, he did a 4-star match with Matt Morgan. My God. He did a 4+ star match with Ken Kennedy. I mean, it's not just, okay, he had great matches with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, which he did. Or he had great matches with Shawn Michaels or Chris Benoit or, whatever, people like that. This guy would go out there with, when he would set his mind to it, he could have a good match with anybody. He was one of the best. He's one of the best of this generation.
So they go back and he's in tears, and Baron Corbin shows up and says he's old, out of shape, gasping for breath after 3 minutes, can't hang with the guys today. Totally unnecessary burial, since in fact he is gasping for breath after 3 minutes.
To me, those weren't the words I would have done.
No. So then he says he's sick of the fans on social media saying Kurt deserves someone better at Mania. The fans are chanting for John Cena. He says you can chant all you want, it's not happening. He says he's going to take out Kurt on Sunday. So Kurt wants an exhibition match right now. Baron teases but says no, you'll never make it to Sunday if we do this. Goes to bail.
When he said that, I was afraid he was right.
Goes to bail, but Rey Mysterio comes out and Rey challenges Baron Corbin, and they do a kerfluffle, and the match is on for later. A fine segment here.
Yeah, I like Kurt. Kurt was great. Kurt was, when he's crying and everything, It was pretty real.
We had Charlie with Charlotte.
I totally bought that Kurt stuff. I mean,
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I believed, I believed that he, was real sad about his career ending. I'm sure he is. It's too bad. It's too bad. It's too bad he's so beat up. Really is.
Charlie is with Charlotte, and her fucking question is, do you think you might turn on your partners tonight and get pulled from WrestleMania?
What a question.
I was like, why am I watching this show? Charlotte says, no, I'm not going to turn on my partners and get removed from WrestleMania, but they better stay away from me afterwards.
Smart woman. Nobody turned on anyone until the match was over.
Dash and Dawson versus Ricochet, Aleister Black. Had a pretty good match, as noted. They're doing all this stuff at the finish. Ricochet hitting this huge flip dive over the post in the corner. Dawson climbs under the ring. Dash jumps inside the ring. Ricochet goes to jump inside, but Dash from under the ring grabs his foot, and he's counted out. A horrible finish, but at least it was a creative horrible finish.
I see. Here's the thing. This is a TV match, and I thought if you're going to build to WrestleMania, I had no problem with that finish.
Yeah, but they're not building a WrestleMania. I know. When it was over, and then they did all that because they had a good match, and they had a screwed finish, and it's kind of like, well, I'd like to see these guys go again. And then Aleister laid out Dawson, and Ricochet hit the 630 on him, and this is supposed to be closing the book on this feud?
I know. Well, I'm sure that they're going to, I don't know what they're going to do. I would, because, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I when I watched that, I just, like I said before, I was like so sure that they must be getting a match at WrestleMania. And even though I was told, like, what it was a couple days ago, that it's not happening, it was just like, they must have changed their mind. And they didn't change their mind on this one. And there it was. But they didn't want to beat Ricochet and Aleister Black, nor should they have. It's not the right time to beat them anyway.
Ronda promo, vows at Mania it's going to be Judgment Day unless they provoke her tonight, in which case it'll be Judgment Day tonight. We have Alexa with EC3 and Tyler Breeze. They're bored to tears. They're talking about Mania. Tyler's laughing about the Saturday Night Live guys, and EC3 is laughing, but then Braun comes up and...
That's the most EC3's gotten to talk this whole run.
Yep. They try to switch the heat to two random guys backstage. Braun, total idiot, believes it, goes up, bullies the guys, says he's going to pretend they're the folks from Saturday Night Live, demands they get in the ring later on tonight. And in another 30 minutes, nobody smartens him up, so he kills these poor guys later.
They should just, couldn't they, just drive away?
You'd think so. Oh. He promised to follow them and find them. They did that.
Do you think he's going to find them if he really tried to hide?
I think he's got better things to do, but...
Yeah.
Roman Reigns with Dasha. She stumbles her way through this promo, and Roman's in the middle of talking about being 100% cleared, and he gets jumped by Drew McIntyre. I was kind of thinking that because you have to have a challenger if Seth beats Brock, that Drew might beat Roman somehow at WrestleMania. But, dude, he's gotten one over on this guy every single time they've been near each other.
Yeah, I would think that in most cases I would do that. I would have Drew win, but this is a unique situation, and I think that Roman Reigns needs to win. And Drew still can challenge Seth because Drew did beat Seth in that TV match. So, I mean, normally that's not the way I would want to book, but I think that the greater good is that Roman Reigns really should win at WrestleMania this year.
Charlie with Becky. She vows to walk out of Mania with both titles. Leads to... And her story, by the way, which is a good story, is the McMahons don't like me, and the only way to ensure I'm still around after Mania is I have to win these belts. So there you go. Then we had the Becky, Charlotte, Ronda versus Riot Squad match.
Oh, let's see. So maybe she wins 2 belts, and then they make her choose one. So that's how they get away from it. So that way they take the belt from her without her losing it. I could see. I'm just...
Why the hell in storyline would you have a winner-take-all match, and then when the winner took all, you said you can't have both?
Okay, well, I can go back to in the Shea Stadium show in 1980 when they had Bob Backlund and Pedro Morales challenge the Samoans for the tag team title, and Bob Backlund and Pedro Morales won, and then they said, you can't have 2 belts. So they had to vacate it. And I was thinking, like, why did we build up for a month this match for the tag team titles? If they win, they can't have them anyway. So there's a precedent in WWF.
Well, Warrior Hogan.
Warrior Hogan, you can't have both belts.
That is more recent.
Yeah, can't have both belts.
Heat on Becky. Ronda's on the apron laughing her ass off at Becky getting slaughtered, which was great. And finally, Becky goes for the disarmer on Liv. Charlotte gets a blind tag. They start yelling at each other. Ronda gets a blind tag. Liv tries to roll up Ronda. Ronda armbars her immediately. And then as soon as she gets a submission, she attacks Charlotte. They have this crazy three-way brawl. Security hits the ring. Women beating all their asses. The cops show up. Ronda starts knocking down an officer, so they arrest her. Becky then jumps Ronda. She's handcuffed, so they arrest her. Charlotte, who at this point has got to be an idiot, having seen what happened, she attacks Ronda, so they arrest her. She's seen this happen twice. She still does it.
God, and think about that. Think she's been arrested before anyway.
They're all handcuffed, fighting with the cops. They're being dragged off. These idiot cops put Rousey and Becky in the same car together. They start kicking at each other, and glass goes flying as Ronda kicks out a window. They take Becky out of the car. Her and Charlotte start going at it. Then Ronda's in the driver's seat, and she crashes into the cop car.
I got to find out who came up with that one, because that's just like so... It just came out like out of nowhere, and I just thought, this is so great.
All I got to say about this as a whole segment was, it was both awesome and completely preposterous at the same time.
Oh, it was total slapstick, but it was so entertaining.
It was so great, but like, I mean, seriously, somebody should have been shot. I mean, you're attacking cops. You're stealing a cop car while handcuffed. I mean, at the very least, somebody should have been tasered. And then it's like, do you realize what happened here? They're attacking cops, stealing property, and I'm supposed to believe they're going to be wrestling on Sunday? That was ridiculous.
Did you not?
That said, it was awesome.
Did you not watch Conor McGregor last year?
Well, maybe it wasn't attacking cops.
No, but
if they handcuffed him and he's beating the shit out of cops, and then they throw him in the cop car and he steals the cop car while handcuffed, I'm pretty sure there would have been some more serious ramifications.
They still would have found a way to get him out of problems.
Cole says the damnedest thing I've seen in 22 years. WrestleMania main eventers arrested. I was like, have you never watched a WrestleMania? I think like every 5 years the main eventers get arrested for something.
Yeah. Should have been around in the old days.
Yeah. Heavy Machinery versus Rude and Gable. Lacey Evans returned. She's winning this battle royal, isn't she?
I think she's got a shot at it. I don't know that she's winning, but I think she's got a good shot.
God, as soon as she came out, that's all I could think. From the worst performance in the Women's Royal Rumble to winning the Battle Royal at WrestleMania, what a turn that would be. So I just got the hot tag, ran wild. Fans had no idea what he was setting up.
Look, she was supposed to be in that championship match.
I know.
With Asuka.
Yeah.
And probably should have, and probably was going to win it.
Yep. All those Asuka fans outraged that she's in the Battle Royal. She could have been losing to Lacey Evans, everybody.
Yeah, I know. At least she lost to Charlotte Flair, right?
Yeah. Gable tried a moonsault. Otis caught him, hit a trash compactor for the pin. Not much of a match, but they focused on Rude, who was very distraught afterwards, so we may be having a breakup soon. Braun kills the two dudes from earlier. Double power slam, just beat him up. It's way more exciting than what he's going to probably do the actual Saturday Night Live guys. Charlie is with Bobby and Leo Rush. Wants to know if Lashley has any concern Sunday. Leo's aghast at this question. Charlie wants to know about rumors a demon will show up. Lashley says, I've been fighting a long time. I'm not afraid of some stupid fairy tale. And Finn shows up on the big screen, morphs into the demon, sticks his tongue out. It was very wacky. But Finn is the demon at Mania.
Yeah, but I think it's, I think everyone... So
you know what it was?
The demon can't lose, so he's got to win the championship. So we're going to have, like when I look at the top of this card, we're going to have a lot of baby faces going over. It's like they did all that heat for the whole year, and now they're going to, they're going to give everyone their happy ending that they waited for. I mean, there'll probably be exceptions to that, but I think this is going to be a pretty strong babyface show.
We had Ray versus Baron Corbin. It was a match. And, I mean, the thing that struck me was Baron took like 90% of this match. He just beat on this guy and beat on this guy and beat on this guy and beat on this guy. And Ray does a quick comeback. Corbin moves out of the way of a big splash, goes for a power bomb. Ray slips behind, hits the ropes, deep six. Baron pins him clean in the middle. I was like, what?
I know. I couldn't believe that was the pin.
I could not believe it.
I thought for sure he was kicking out.
He got pinned. And Corbin leaves. Kurt Angle jumps him, puts him in the ankle lock on the stage. Corbin taps. And that, my friends, the main event of the go-home show for WrestleMania 35.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, the thing is that as far as the main events went, they did a good job with the main events. They did the right thing with Seth and Brock Lesnar. They did a great segment with the women. So that's, you know.
This was for people that don't recall, there have been some weak go-home shows for WrestleMania.
This was not one of them.
Over the last decade. This one was much better.
Yeah.
Except for Baron Corbin in that main event. All right.
I was entertained. I wasn't bored at all. I mean, I know the audience started like on fire and then turned on the show at the end. But, you know, and I can see why. I mean, you spend the whole time talking about this unification match and what you know, anyone who thought that finish was going to work, I know that's what they thought they were going to. I could see how they did it, and I could see them thinking that if you just have Seth and Kofi because they're so popular because they just won the title, cut the promo and say, we'll do our thing later, and we want to get these two guys right now. That the fans would go for it and forget that they didn't get a winner in this match that they've, you know, championship match they built up for 2 hours. Like anyone thought that they were going to do anything but do a double count out or something anyway. So it was, I mean, I knew it was going to be some sort of a double DQ and somebody was running in, just didn't know who. And admittedly, if I was going to think about it, I would have never guessed Sheamus and Cesaro. I probably would have guessed some people higher in the pecking order, but, you know, that's what they did. So that kind of turned the crowd at the end. So it was a interesting thing. It was an interesting show. Lars Sullivan's in, which we talked about. You know, he's fine. He's doing well. Bray Wyatt's being teased coming back. Sami Zayn was back as a babyface, and then he turned heel at the end. And what else? You know, they didn't put Roman Reigns on television. No Ronda Rousey, who was originally booked to be on the show, but no Ronda Rousey because of her broken hand. And no Brock Lesnar, who was originally booked to be on the show. And we're going in a new direction with a bunch of stuff. And Lacey Evans, god damn, it wasn't Asuka.
Can you imagine?
It's Lacey Evans getting the big program
smokes.
with Becky Lynch. Well, I told you she was getting a big push. That's probably why she didn't wrestle Asuka is because it wasn't that they thought that she sucked. Because I remember when they pulled it, I was told they still got big plans for her. It's because they didn't want her to lose her to Asuka. And I think they didn't want her winning the championship so quick. So she's the big program. Seth's program is going to end up being with Drew McIntyre, it looks like. I mean, there's advertisements out for matches with Seth and Drew. So that's what it looks like the program's going to be.
Well, it's a good thing they beat Drew McIntyre clean in the middle of WrestleMania.
Well, it was, I know what you mean, but in that case, there pretty much was, you know, it's one of those things where I think that they didn't, I wouldn't have beaten Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in his first singles match back.
Then you should have beat somebody else.
Well, true. That's a different issue. What else? And it looks like Baron Corbin's being groomed for Roman Reigns, which at least explains his win over Kurt. But, you know, maybe that'll end up being Lars, you know, because Lars has to be programmed with somebody. But everything's going to be shaken up anyway next week. So
that's kind of the thing with this show. For many years, the Raw After Mania was like all these people would debut. They'd shoot all these angles. It was like a big show. This was like just a fun, easy, basic, kind of nothing happening show except for the debut of Lars.
There was Lars and there was Sami Zayn. There was.
Well, I mean, it was
Undertaker showed up.
Yeah, but he showed up for a one night thing to beat up Elias. But the point is,
well, I'm sure it's. I presume, I can't say I'm sure, but I presume that that's the angle for the Saudi show, Undertaker and Elias. Because I was told Undertaker was going to be back doing an angle for Saudi Arabia. So
All I know is this did not feel like a big Raw after Mania, because next week it's the shakeup. Next week is the big show. Next week is where they shoot all the angles.
Next week is definitely the big show. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if think they're going to hit 3 million viewers on average for the 3 hours
for this show.
Yeah.
I would say
it's been a long time since they've hit that number. I think it's probably
3 million average over 3 hours. I don't think so.
They should.
I think they'll have a really good first hour. I think they'll have a decent second hour, and I think the third hour is going to do what it always does.
Really? Even with that champion versus champion match?
Maybe.
Because people didn't know that match was going to... people were led to believe they would actually see the titles unified. I mean, I don't know why they would, but that's what people were expecting. So I think that, in theory, that should keep the audience. I mean, you may very well be right, but I think it'll be interesting. They also had the basketball game, which was a close game. So I don't know. I didn't hear as much about the basketball game this year as I usually hear. But even saying that, it's still the NCAA finals. It's still one of the biggest sporting events of the year.
So it opens up with Seth coming out.
We should talk about all the injuries first. So we talked. Ronda's got the broken hand. So the finish of that match, among other things, is for the hope that there's a Ronda Rousey-Becky Lynch match. It's not planned. There is no time for it. But if and when Ronda Rousey comes back, which as I said, there is no date, that is what is kind of being held, And then Becky Lynch even did promos kind of, she didn't move on from Ronda. Ronda was definitely in the promos. What else? AJ Styles has a hip injury. Don't know the severity of it. Who else is hurt? Tanahashi suffered an elbow injury in the match with Zack Sabre on Saturday night. So he's out of action for a while, which really hurts them because they have a lot of big shows in April and May, like multiple. They have the Sengoku Lord, and then they've got the what's this? The Kumamoto show every year, and the two Fukuokas, and taking time. They're now at a point where it's really when you look at the lineups for the New Japan shows, you really see a difference when it comes to the depth. I mean, you've got Okada, and you got Ishii, and you've got got the great guys underneath, the young lions they're going to be great stars in the future and all that. But losing Tanahashi right now is it just the shows don't look that great to me. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Fukuoka shows do, because lineup wise they just feel so weak to me compared to last year. And who else is hurt? Am I missing anybody? Tenzan had knee surgery, I think. He definitely had surgery, and it was a knee injury, but I was not actually told knee surgery, just told surgery. And I think that's it for today's injury list.
So Seth does his promo and talks about beating Brock. He's hurt. Feels like he got run over by a Mack truck. And as he's talking, hoping that Brock doesn't come back from Las Vegas, out comes a New Day. And Kofi says, it's not the shakeup, but I'm here tonight. It's cause for celebration. We couldn't wait until SmackDown. Says Kofi did the unthinkable, won the WWE title for the first time in 11 years, which I'm not sure why that's unthinkable since he beat Daniel Bryan twice prior to this.
And Jack Swagger's held the championship, so how unthinkable is it?
I don't know. But you know what was unthinkable? Big E did the splits. That was unthinkable.
That was impressive. That was.
Kofi brings up the winner-take-all main event last night, said it was great for the women. How about we do it tonight? Winner-take-all, you and myself, for the titles. No authority figure came out to confirm or deny this, I might add. They just decided they were going to unify the belts, and verbal agreement. It was on.
So during the show, on at least two occasions, they mentioned that Kofi would be having his championship celebration tomorrow night, which told you that he couldn't lose the championship.
I can't imagine there was anybody that thought they were going to unify the titles tonight.
That they would unify? No, I don't. I mean, yeah, but still, it's still, they did that. So I'm just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just that's what they, I'm sure that when they cut the commercials, they had no plans to do Kofi and Seth Rollins, and they just didn't. They just already had those commercials set to go when they came up with this match, and that's just how it works, So that's just the WWE. I know a lot of people were like, "Why did they spoil it?" And it's like, well, they already cut the commercials before they came up with the show, I'm going to guess.
So, following the low ratings in November, Vince came back and said no more championship rematches. Apparently, that's out the window. Hawkins and Ryder versus Revival championship rematch for the tag team titles. They had a fun match. Heat on Hawkins, heart attack by the heels. Ryder made the comeback. And basically, Dawson hit a brainbuster on Hawkins outside. Heels hit the shatter machine on him.
On
Ryder inside, and then Hawkins was a legal man, so he rolled up Dash for the pin. Crowd was into it.
No, rolled up. Didn't he roll up Dawson?
Yeah, I thought he rolled up Dash, but one way or the other, he rolled up somebody for the pin, they are still the champions.
Let me get my notes. Rolled up Dawson for the schoolboy and Dawson, for sure, yeah.
I'll bet you $5 it was Dash. I'll pay you the next time I see you.
Okay.
Anyway. So then we had Baron Corbin come out. They're doing the goofy introduction every time he comes out. They've added that he's the man who has retired Kurt Angle, so we're going to have to hear that for 1,000 years now. He's cutting a promo. The fans are chanting, "Shut the fuck up." He calls them classless, dirty New Yorkers. Says he's used to people doubting him, but he proved everybody wrong last night. He beat an Olympic gold medalist. He thinks he should have a gold medal of his own. Kurt Angle comes out, and he says, "Yes, you were the better man last night. My career is officially over. Yours," he says, "is just getting started."
Oh, what a threat.
Do you know that Baron Corbin has been in WWE for virtually the exact same amount of time that Kurt Angle had his entire first WWE run, where he won 11 titles, 6 world titles, King of the Ring? That entire Kurt Angle run, that's how long Baron Corbin's been here. But it's just the start of his career.
By the way, it was Dawson.
Okay.
It was Dawson.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you looking at your notes, or where are you looking?
I'm looking. I'm looking at my notes, and then I checked somebody else's notes,
okay.
And they both said Dawson. Right. And my memory, and I looked at my memory because my memory of this match is pretty darn good since I just watched it tonight, and I remember Chad Dawson getting schoolboyed.
Chad Dawson.
Scott Dawson. I keep thinking Chad Dawson's a baseball player. Scott Dawson got schoolboyed.
Oh man, that. All right, I'm going to keep going here, but I'm loading this thing up. That's how confident I am in this.
Okay.
We'll find out. But anyway, so fans chant, "Thank you, Kurt." Says Corbin was the better man. And anyway, he says, "I want to wish you the best of luck." Bad luck. And he attacks him, puts him in the ankle lock. Corbin furiously taps. Suddenly the music hits, and out comes the debuting Lars Sullivan. And he comes out, and he kills Kurt Angle, gives him a freak accident.
By the way, this is what he was supposed to do to John Cena.
Yeah, there you go. But, freak accident, diving headbutt off the top. Everybody goes nuts, and that's it.
That was an impressive diving headbutt. It was really impressive for anybody, let alone a guy of that size. But, okay, so here's the thing. Harley Race was the guy who was the first guy that I ever recall doing the diving headbutt. And Harley Race later said that they should ban that move because, and he regretted introducing it to pro wrestling. So there's sometimes that you listen to the old timers, and, sometimes when it comes to like certain things like psychology or moves or things like that, because the business changes, I could say, well, the business changed. But when a guy who invents a move says, "I wish I never invented this move, and I hope nobody else does the move," I would think that they should listen to him.
Hey, he pinned Dawson. I knew it.
That's what I said.
I know. I owe you $5.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pinfall. Dash leaped in right at the pinfall, so that's why I had him in my memory as having been pinned, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was Lars Sullivan debut, and yes, probably shouldn't be doing a lot of diving headbutts. Benoit's neck.
Yeah, Benoit ended up getting neck surgery. Honma, not the greatest thing either. I mean,
to be fair, there's a lot of things that can mess up your neck when you're doing that kind of style.
Yeah, but when you're a 300-pound guy, I don't know. I mean, 300-pound guys flying around like that, I don't think that that's necessarily a good thing because, I think that the shock on your body when you do those things, whether it's on your knees or whatever, like small guys can do it. You know what I mean?
I will play devil's advocate. I don't remember Devon ever having to get neck surgery. He did a diving headbutt to the balls in every match.
That's true. But it's not really the same. It's not the same exact move.
Well, it's a diving headbutt. It just depends on how hard you impact the person.
Yeah, but it wasn't as far, and it was a different kind of a landing with the head. It wasn't snapping on that low.
Bayley, Alexa Bliss. Alexa's wrestling again. They had a nothing match. Alexa DDT'd her and pinned her, and that was it.
Bayley was getting more aggressive. It almost seemed like a beginning of a tease for a heel turn.
Yep. No Sasha on this show. Wasn't even there with Bayley. It's just Bayley out there losing. It's kind of weird.
Well, they don't have the belts anymore.
So it was a very quick fall.
Yep.
Becky out as double champion. It says 9 years ago.
Did you see the McGregor stuff with Jericho?
I saw the McGregor stuff where he congratulated Becky and teased joining the WWE Women's Division.
Yeah, so he said that, she's the first one, and Jericho corrected him, and then he's going like, well, I mean, like, in the same company, and interim titles don't count. But they don't have interim titles in WWE, do they? I don't think so. So Jericho explained that, in fact, he had won both the WCW and WWF title on the same night, in the same tournament, in WWE. So he fit all the criteria. And he called Conor McGregor a mark, I think.
Oh.
So they went at it. So Conor's just, I don't know. He's always in the news. We got a lot to talk about Conor tonight, too. So there you go.
Anyway, Becky tries to get a Becky 2-belt chant going. Says at WrestleMania, when all was said and done, the woman who walked in with nothing walked out with everything. She's not the strongest, fastest, most athletic, but she's got a good theme song she said that the fans are singing. Says she's all about surviving. She's always going to find a way to win in the end. And whenever Ronda's done sulking, she can come back and the man will slap the empty head off of her shoulders. Says the women in both divisions have seen what is possible. They're going to want a piece of her, but she's going to slap their heads off. Pose with the belts. They play her music. And out comes Lacey Evans. She comes down, gets right in Becky's face with her music playing, gives her the woman's right to punch her in the face. Becky doesn't even take a bump, just attacks her. They brawl up on the ramp. Becky tries to disarm her on the stage. Lacey bails. Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right.
Yep. Good luck.
I will say. Wonder if people will argue about not putting Charlotte in that match.
Yeah. So the deal that, they've been high on Lacey Evans. I mean, they think that her story, the military, working in the military.
The story they've never told us a single time.
Well, for the media, they think that she thinks that she's can be really good working the media, as a former serviceman. She was, I think, what's her background is not, she wasn't just in the service. Like she was in some elite forces or something. I forgot what it was, but, and, having a kid, not that, a lot of people do, but, and, her looks and whatever, they see her as a star, and, we'll see. The thing is that like, I saw her in NXT and I saw them push her in NXT. So I know what it's like when they push her, and I can see why. I mean, I definitely could see why they want to push her, but it also didn't really get over when I compare her to like so many other women, that like
she's not as good in the ring. That's it.
That's part of it, and maybe even the biggest part of it. But I mean,
to me, that's the biggest part of it. It's bigger than her story. I mean, yeah, everything you said about her story and her background, that's all true. But in the ring, like she could have. Here's the thing: she could successfully squash a girl in a match that they'd practiced a lot. But going out there, as we saw in the Royal Rumble, going out there on live television and having to perform under pressure, she totally was not ready for that. And, I mean, maybe 3 months of doing whatever they've been doing to get her ready, she'll be ready. But the last I saw of her, she was not ready for this position.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Well, when they brought her up, I didn't think she was ready to be brought up. I thought she needed another year. But they love her, so we'll see. Maybe she'll rise to the occasion. But, yeah, based on what I've seen, she hasn't won me over. I'll just say that. Yeah, she didn't do well in the Rumble, but I mean, she didn't do well in developmental. And that's the lab to me. It's like when you're ready in NXT. I mean, when you see it, Kairi Sane's ready. Io they were ready when they got there. I mean, they're better than the women on the main roster now, but she, she started from scratch. She got better, but, it was kind of like when they brought up Dana Brooke, and actually there's a lot of similarities between the two of them. And Dana Brooke may be getting a push now for whatever reason. But when they brought up Dana Brooke, I remember thinking it's a year too soon. And part of the problem was she wasn't that good in the ring. And I mean, they were going all out with Dana Brooke. She was going to have this big WrestleMania feud with Charlotte Flair. And it just didn't take because when it came time to the physical stuff, she didn't get over with the crowd.
Seth did a promo with Charlie. Charlie says, people are surprised, even shocked at the main event tonight. Why did you accept this challenge? He was like, I'm a babyface. He says, we're going to get in this face. If someone's going to get in my face, I have to accept the consequences. Kofi's going to step up on my show. He better be ready to bring his A game, B-plus game. Not going to get the job done. Black and Ricochet versus Gable and Rude. Had a pretty good match. They had a big comeback with Aleister Black. There was a spot where it looked like he totally folded his ankle over, but he just kept going, didn't sell it, so hopefully he's fine. And fans, of all the matches on this show, this was the match they tried to get the wave going. And they kind of got it going, but then it died and people were booing, and I don't know why they weren't paying attention to this match.
There were several matches on this show where you could see that the crowd was, whatever was going on in the stands was interesting the crowd more than what was going on in the ring. So it kind of hurt. And, I mean, I would just hear like these crowd reactions that had nothing to do with the match. And this match was one of the ones that had it. Or you would look at the crowd and you see the crowd looking at like the side or the back. Something's going on in the crowd. And it's kind of, I mean, whatever. I don't know the circumstances. I know people who were there who just felt that whatever it was, I don't know. I got very negative reactions from people who were in the building at this show for whatever reason. As hot as the crowd was, a lot of people just didn't like the show that were there in the building.
Cable went for the Chaos Theory suplex. Ricochet flipped out, hit a code breaker for the pin. So I guess they're trying to give him a finish that doesn't involve him having to do 630s or shooting star presses every night, which is a smart idea if he's going to be working regularly in the main roster.
Yeah. I mean, well, I always think it's good to have multiple stuff. And you can do, to me, like that 630 should be saved for big shows anyway. You shouldn't be doing it every week.
Elias is backstage. Says he had the greatest performance ever last night. Cena ruined it with his rap music. Says tonight he's going to been given plenty of time to perform his rock opera. He will show no mercy on anybody who interferes tonight. That includes anyone from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or even Vince McMahon. They had a chicken head in a box. Guess Bray Wyatt's returning as a puppeteer. Is that what's going on here?
I guess so. I just know Bray Wyatt's on his way back.
They announced Dean Ambrose in his final WWE match against Bobby Lashley. And they go out there. Match doesn't even start. Lashley takes the mic, says, "Don't worry, Dean, when you're gone, I'll take care of your wife." Renee says, "I have no idea what he means." So Dean goes after Lashley. They brawl all over the place. Brawl up on the ramp.
I think she knew what he meant.
I do too, but she pretended like she didn't. Okay. So Ambrose gave him a DDT on the stage, starts tearing apart the desk. Lashley ends up spearing him on the stage, powerbombs him through the announce table. And once again, that's the end of Dean Ambrose. Again, for now.
Yeah, but this was his last night in.
Sami Zayn returned. He's as Sami Zayn as he could possibly be. He's dancing. He's just going crazy, all wacky. Gets in the ring and says, "I'll be honest, my schedule's wide open. Anybody in the back want to face me? Come on out for a match." Finn Balor accepts and puts the Intercontinental title on the line. So they have a good long match, and Finn made his comeback, hit the dropkick, missed the foot stomp, Sammy with the cradle, exploder into the corner, goes for the kick, misses, Finn hits the coup de grace, gets the pin, retains the title. Sammy then grabs the mic. Says, "I really thought coming out here tonight would cure what ails me, but it didn't. It just reinforced what I've realized over the last 9 months. Generally seems like you miss me, genuinely. I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, I did not miss any of you. WWE," he says, "a super toxic environment. Not because of the McMahons," he said, "because of the audience, your ugliness."
What about the deal with Saudi Arabia?
Says he lives a very meaningful and fulfilled life. Their lives seem empty, devoid of meaning. They can't just enjoy the show as fans. They can only get satisfaction from being critics. Says that the only thing that gives any of these people a sense of self-importance is judging everything but themselves. They become the evil overlords of the WWE. He's not here to save WWE or take it over. He's going to come out here every week, hold the fans accountable, because nobody else will. "See you in hell," he says. Drops the mic, leaves. Everybody gives him a big babyface reaction. Let's return to Sami Zayn. He's a heel.
Well, he left as a heel.
He's going to chew out the fans every week.
Well,
Vince is going to write his promo, and he's going to recite it for the old guy.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't feud him with Bobby Lashley again.
Yeah, that was bad.
That sucked. Yeah.
Speaking of sucking, I mean this in the nicest way possible. Sarah interviewed Dana Brooke. If I recall correctly, like a week ago, Sarah was pretty good. Now she's already half robot.
She was pretty robotic tonight.
She's very robotic. And then she interviews Dana, and she's totally robotic, half human. And she just cuts this generic promo about whatever. She wants a title match against Becky. Okay.
Yeah.
Becky has got a hell of a list of challengers lined up now.
Yep.
Elias came out. Raps a burial of John Cena, and his final verse is, "The next one who interrupts is a dead man."
Well, he was right.
Lights go out. Undertaker's dong sounds. Elias has the greatest look of shock ever on his face. Undertaker comes out. Elias teases leaving, but comes back in. Taker boots him, chokeslam, tombstone. Fans count to 3. Taker's in pretty good shape, all things considered.
Yeah, he's in much better shape than he was last year.
But he looked very, very old, which actually is good for his gimmick.
But he is old. So that's, that's just going to happen. He's 54? 54 years old, yeah. So, yeah, I even in better shape with his weight down. I'm kind of like the last matches that he had, they were not good. Maybe, well, we'll see when he comes back what he looks like, but he is in better shape.
And then we had our big main event, Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston, title for title, winner takes all. They go like 8 minutes, and Sheamus and Cesaro run in for the DQ. Fans are furious. Seth gets on the mic and he says, "We want a match with the Bar. We can do this some other time," he says to Kofi. Fans boo like crazy at that.
People did not want to hear that.
Nope.
That was a misjudgment.
I mean, Dave, nobody back there stepped up and said, "Are you kidding? this is the main event of the Raw after WrestleMania. Like, the bar is going to interfere, and Seth is going to demand a tag match, and the people are going to be into it.
Well, here's the other thing,
What?
too. They did an 8-minute match, and it was like, okay, these two champions, right? And it was nothing.
Yeah, because it was all just a setup to set up the tag match.
The tag match was nothing, too.
Yeah, I was baffled watching this. Like, this is what they came up with for the main event of the Raw after Mania.
Well,
fans are chanting bullshit.
They were chanting AEW.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Sheamus's. I mean, I figured someone's running in, but I figured it was like Drew McIntyre and whoever, like Daniel Bryan, right? And ended up being Sheamus and Cesaro, who are good wrestlers, but yeah,
You just can't promise a unification champion versus champion winner take all match on the Raw after WrestleMania. Give him a DQ with, and I love the guys, but a mid-card tag team to set up this for the main event, and the babyface win and then fist bump each other. Like, that was the main event.
Yep, that was it.
Yep, and it wasn't even like a good main event because they had like 6 minutes before the show ended. There was a commercial break in the middle of it, and then they just went home. That was it. So yeah,
right.
very, very disappointing main event.
Yeah, the last segment was, or the last whole deal. Yeah, it wasn't well thought out. Crowd reacted very negatively to it, and they should have, because they feel that they got screwed. So, and Corey Graves tried, when the crowd's like just booing like crazy, to say that, well, they're mad at Sheamus and Cesaro for ruining the main event. And in fact, they were really more mad at the company than Sheamus and Cesaro, because it wasn't like the match had heat. The crowd, they were just booing. So it opens with Stephanie and Shane out. Stephanie introduces Shane, calls him the best in the world. They're best friends again. Shane is fine, although that injury from that superplex.
I missed the first 5 minutes. He still have the black eye?
No, he didn't have. I mean, I didn't see the black eye, so it looks like he healed. They didn't. They may not have shown close-ups, but he's dancing around like nothing happened. Fans were booing him a lot. He made Mike Rome announce him as the best in the world. Lots of CM Punk chants. Actually, that happened throughout the show. And then
aren't they just inviting those chants?
Are they?
Well, I mean, he's calling himself the best in the world.
I guess so. Well, that's probably what does it. And then Miz music plays, so he's ready for Miz to come. And then Miz, the babyface, attacks him from behind, starts beating him up, and it ends up with Shane potatoed Miz. Miz was bleeding all over the place. And then what happened? Miz hit Shane with some chair shots, and Shane was gone. And so then, so next Sunday at 9:30 Eastern from Moline, Illinois, they'll have the Shield's last match. That's Ambrose's last match on his contract.
And they just started promoting that today, right?
Yes, it's the first they've announced of it.
So is it a house show that they just decided to turn into a network special?
It's not. It's only. It seems like it's only one match.
Oh, okay.
It's not like the whole show.
Got it.
I think it's going to be like a 30-minute thing or something like that.
I like when they first announced it, I thought it was going to be like a documentary of like the whole Shield thing, and I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool. And then someone said, oh, it was a match.
It's a match. It's their last match from Moline. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then let's see. Yeah, so Michael Cole got all excited when Ricochet's music played. He got a nice looking entrance too. He's on Raw.
But they kind of changed the music a little bit, right? There was like a little...
I guess. I mean, the music was pretty much the same, but they...
there was a sound effect or something in the beginning.
Yeah. And then Aleister Black, and then Hawkins and Ryder against the Revival and the Viking Experience. The match was good. These are all good wrestlers.
Ricochet was short on that moonsault on the outside.
Yeah, he was.
They quickly cut to the opposite side of the camera to kind of save it, but it looked like it was way short.
Yeah. And they did the fallout on Zack Ryder to win. And I thought the Viking Experience, I thought those guys looked good for their debut. yeah, it was, Ricochet seemed more over to me than he's been.
If you put those guys with Ricochet and Aleister Black and just let them have matches, those will be really good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now Cedric Alexander to Raw, which, it makes sense the way he's been booked. Finn Balor and Andrade, nice match, good match. I don't think it was ever great, but there were a few really kind of cool spots. And he did the Zelina Vega gave a Hurricane Rana to Balor, and he got in the ring, and Andrade beat him with a hammerlock DDT. So it seems like it sets up an Intercontinental Championship program.
And hopefully,
unless Balor goes to their side.
But hopefully with Ray coming over too, they can continue whatever that feud was that they started.
They didn't touch them, but yeah, perhaps they could. They had Elias was out. They're really pushing John Cena as the Babe Ruth of wrestling, the greatest wrestler of all time. And they also pushed Undertaker against Elias in film clips. Elias came out, and
what does that make Hogan though? If Cena's the Babe Ruth, who's the biggest baseball star before Babe Ruth? Honus Wagner of
I think they were contemporaries.
They were probably around the same time.
Cy Young was before, but he was a pitcher. Does that count?
I guess I don't know. I always thought
Cap Anson.
Okay, there you go. So I always thought Hogan was the Babe Ruth, and then you make Cena someone who's a little bit more,
the Ted Williams
or Willie Mays, or Willie Mays. Someone like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cap Anson. Yeah.
That was a good one. You pulled that one out.
Yeah, out of nowhere. I used to be a baseball fan. Let's see. So Elias was out, and he mentioned that Cena had interrupted him 2 straight years, and they brought Undertaker back from the dead. Fans were chanting for Undertaker. So then he started talking about Montreal Canadiens not making the playoffs. People started booing him. They booed him so loud for that one. It was easy, cheap heat, but so loud. And then when that was over, Rey Mysterio came out, and they had a little thing, and Rey Mysterio eventually lays him out, and that brings out. What did he do? Rey Mysterio botched a spot real bad. The big key spot, he did a springboard spot completely. They fell all over each other. Yeah, that wasn't particularly good. And then, he ended up running Elias out. Lars Sullivan came out, and Ray ran around him a couple times, but eventually Lars hit him with a freak accident and then powerbombed him. So the key here is that he did not do the diving headbutt. So maybe after a week of people saying the guy's too big, he's going to end up hurt. Maybe someone. Well, I guess we'll find out next week. But they made it clear Lars Sullivan is on Raw, which surprises me. Well, maybe not surprises me, but
that could mean that Braun is going to SmackDown though, because you want both of those guys in the same brand?
Don't you want them away from each other and then have them face each other like a year from now?
Yeah.
I think you want them on separate shows. So maybe Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman both go. So Lars ends up laying him out with the power bomb. So just making Lars Sullivan look strong. He's very impressive physically. Looked huge, especially next to Ray. He's going to really look huge. Rude and Gable against the Usos. Short, 5-minute match. I mean, it's good. They did a double super kick on Chad Gable and then a double splash. Now, I don't know. It was interesting because they did not call it a super kick. So I wonder if Vince McMahon, they said it was very clear he was not saying super kick. Now, it could be that Cole wasn't thinking, or it could be, we'll find out next time they do the super kicks.
Did they call it anything?
A kick.
They just called it a kick.
Double kick.
I didn't remember that.
So it could be Cole not remembering, or just in the heat of battle, or it could be, how they are with words. I mean, it could be something. Alexa Bliss came out for a moment of bliss with Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn did the most exaggerated, smarmy babyface thing. I can't believe that the crowd fell for this, but they cheered him so loud.
I thought this was really entertaining.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he was really good, and he's just he's like building up them cheering him.
Dancing all over the
But
place.
so fake dancing. It's like you're watching it going like, he's such a heel, and they're cheering him so much. And I mean, I think that the big thing out of this segment was for him and probably WWE is people probably go, oh, like they'll never boo him in Montreal. And it was just to prove that that he'd get them to boo in Montreal, which, he's talking about how much he loved Montreal, everything but the people. And then he ripped on the people and they booed him. It was exactly, the segment went exactly like Sami Zayn and WWE would have envisioned it. Cheering him, like they cheered him so loud and then they booed him.
Is Alexa supposed to be a babyface?
I have no idea.
Because she was berating him throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, is she babyface or a heel? I couldn't tell. So I mean, she was a babyface in this segment.
And she was a babyface with making that Braun Strowman match. And she's like Stephanie McMahon, whatever you need at the time.
I guess.
Yeah. Then we had what was this? Oh, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay against Naomi, who was, of course, moved over, and Bayley, and Naomi pinned Billie Kay with a moonsault, which is interesting because Lacey Evans did a moonsault like the very next match, or two matches. Yeah, two matches down. We actually had 3 women's matches in a row. The match was only 2 minutes, so I guess Bayley and Naomi are now a tag team against Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. And they said that Billie Kay and Peyton Royce will be defending their titles on Raw, SmackDown, and in NXT.
Wow.
Yeah. They didn't, the match was short, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, in the sense of like, but Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, as far as the wrestling end goes, even in a 2-minute match, you could really see how weak they are compared to most of the women on the roster.
How long do you think they go with them, though? Like, it seems like they're trying... I'm saying they're trying to make these belts important, and then they take them off of Sasha and Bayley. But if you're going to defend them...
way more over than these, than the Iconics. I mean, the Iconics are a nice one-note joke and everything, but...
But if you have fighting champions fighting on 3 different brands, at some point, like, they're going to have to put them on actual fighting champions, right? Like, wouldn't that be...
That would be your idea, that you would want people who would have good matches.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the purpose is with them. I mean, they can do those interviews, but I mean, what? I don't know. I don't know. Like if Billie Kay was like a great worker, I would go, okay, I get it. But I don't know what, other than that they're both they're both Australian, but I don't know, whatever. She doesn't stand out to me. She's just there. EC3 came out for a match with Braun Strowman. The match never started. All I kept seeing, Braun Strowman destroyed him. And I kept thinking, like, what is the story behind EC3? Like, who did he say to what? Because, boy, I never seen a guy get so buried he's got the look. He's got the talking ability. I mean, I don't know if he would have ever made it because his wrestling isn't the best. But I've said it a million times.
If his wrestling isn't the best, they could have given him the SmackDown, the women's tag team championship.
He's a better wrestler than both of them, by far. But yeah, then they had a graphic of everybody that is moved on to the show, including Eric Young, and his name was mentioned just in passing. So I guess that means Sanity's broken up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, not that they necessarily should have or could have done that, but it's almost like, I guess that means they're doing something at least, because otherwise, what were they doing? Were they on like Superstars or something?
What Eric Young? They were never on TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
just working SmackDown house shows.
So at some point, they showed Becky winning at WrestleMania, right?
And they blacked out the finish.
So somebody said that they've been doing that for all of the matches at WrestleMania, like they were just blacking out and you only hear the audio of the 3 count. Because I was thinking, they didn't want to show the botch of the pin.
Sure, they didn't want to show the botch of the pin because they never acknowledged that the pin was a botch, and they've never brought it up at all. I mean, they did originally that night, but since and I'm sure Vince ordered it because I don't believe Corey Graves is going into business for himself on that story. And then, so I'm just, the only thing I can figure is that Vince changed his mind, and just like, and maybe it's just the idea that Ron, maybe on that night, maybe he thought, Ronda's going to be like Brock and then she's going to come back. And now he realizes that she's not like Brock and she's not coming back right away. And so it's like, okay, there's no point in doing something to protect her because, she's not coming back for a long time and everyone's going to forget by the time she comes back anyway.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, wow, that was weird. But then someone had said that they think that they did it on some of the other matches too, or previously or something. I didn't see it.
I don't know. That's the only one that I remember. And the first thing I thought of is, okay, they don't want to show that pin. Then Becky Lynch and Ruby Riott, which Becky Lynch won with a disarmer. Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan interfered. Match was okay. Becky Lynch was pretty over, but not. I mean, she was pretty over. But I mean, it wasn't like crazy, crazy Montreal over, but she was more over than most on the show.
I think she's going to miss Ronda the most.
Yeah, and Charlotte, when she's on this brand on her own, she's for now she's going to have both brands.
Yeah,
but she's going to miss Ronda when she works with Lacey Evans. That's for sure. Charlie Caruso interviewed Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Leo Rush. She must be so short because I met Leo Rush, and Leo Rush is like so short, and she was I'm talking like she looked like she's like 4'10", 4'11".
So before on that Lacey Evans that moonsault that she did, Natalya didn't get hurt. She looked like
she took the knees to the gut.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that she got hurt. I guess I could try to find out.
I mean, the move looked pretty cool, but the landing
wasn't
looked looked a little tough.
Yeah, because she landed knees on her stomach. Yeah. So then we had Becky Lynch was still in the ring. Natalya came out. Natalya talked about how she's dedicated her whole life to wanting to be in the main event at WrestleMania, and Ronda and Charlotte and Becky Lynch got into the main event, and she's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, which did not get that big of a pop. But she kept saying, I want the Raw title, which is interesting because they specifically made it very clear that those are two different belts, and she's going to defend them differently. And then she said that Becky Lynch said she was overlooked and underappreciated, just like Natalya is. And so she said that, wanted, she already worked with a weirdo Ronnie and Charlotte, and we traveled the world as teenagers talking about her and Natty, just to get a foot in the door in WWE. And look at us now. Lacey Evans came out. She called Natty a classless has-been. And what was it? Renee Young goes, she's not classless. It was like, what a incredibly non-thinking line that was.
Wow.
Yeah, she's not classless. It's like, so you're saying she's a has-been? Jeez, I mean, that's the first thing it's like, oh, God. Say she's not a classless has-been. It's not that. So then Lacey Evans came out. Well, Lacey Evans was already out. They ended up setting up a match where the winner was going to get the shot at Becky Lynch, which is probably the next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, most likely. And obviously, Lacey Evans won that one.
I got ahead of myself there.
What? Natalya
I was talking about the finish.
Yeah, Natalya had the sharpshooter on, and Lacey Evans finally made the ropes. She hit her with a women's right, just punch to the jaw, and then the Christopher Daniels moonsault, which looked pretty good until she landed. And the crowd was dead,
mm-hmm.
and I didn't feel it with Lacey Evans. I mean, it's like when she walks down and everything like that, with the music and everything, they've kind of made her into a star. When the match starts and she's got to work, she didn't feel like a big star. That's not to mean that she won't be, but she didn't feel like it week one.
It also feels like there's just a chunk of her story that they just forgot to tell.
Like the entire story?
Yeah.
They don't mention anything. She's got the one thing she's got is a very interesting story. They don't even bring up like that she was, whatever she was in the military, sniper or whatever it was. I mean, she was her military record or whatever, her standing was very impressive. So they don't talk about it at all.
What is her character supposed to be?
The sassy Southern belle.
So
she's supposed to be. I don't know what TV show do we have a sassy Southern belle in? I don't know.
No TV show today, I guess.
I can't come up with one myself.
So
who is a sassy Southern belle in this world?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But
Vince must have remembered some from I Love Lucy days or something. I don't know.
So because she walks out and she interrupts all these matches, she prances around, struts around, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then she just had a match. Like I feel like I missed some shows, or I missed a network special, or I missed something that connected all these dots together before her first match.
No, that was it. No, you're supposed to like know everything, and I'm still trying to figure out like the character that she's copying.
Maybe we were expected to know it from the Mae Young Classic or something.
But she didn't do this in the Mae Young Classic.
But didn't they? At least they talked about her background.
They did talk about her background in the Mae Young Classic. Yeah, but that's not even on the roster. Yeah, they did there. Then Charlie's backstage with Seth and Roman, trying to find out who the third guy is, and they're hiding it. And they said like this could be the last time we're together. And
until next year.
There's a video, a Bray Wyatt video. There was a toy house, stuffed animals, a rocking chair with no person in it, and a doll in a chair, and there you go. So Bray Wyatt's coming in with a new character, and then main event: Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and AJ against Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley. So the interesting thing, so AJ, you could tell AJ, his body looked a little off because he's hurt. He didn't do a lot in this match, but I will say that what he did, he looked good. You couldn't tell he was hurting.
When they do the slow motion of the phenomenal forearm, it looks amazing as he's in the air. Like he gets the springboard. He's just flying through the air. It looks great every single time.
Oh yeah. He did a great looking drop kick. They showed that again. Match was good. I mean, I don't remember it being like super heated. It felt to me like sort of a write-off of Bobby Lashley, but we'll see tomorrow. They really are trying to get heat on Baron Corbin.
They just put those guys together too, though.
Yeah. And then, Drew is the one who obviously they see being a star. So we'll see where he winds up tomorrow. But Roman Reigns speared Bobby Lashley, and AJ pinned Bobby Lashley with the forearm. So that was it.
All right, let's jump into this Raw report right here. There was some very good wrestling on the show, and it was also in some ways a mess. The prime example being at the very beginning of the show.
What a mess, huh?
They announce, coming up tonight, Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles will have a three-way. Drew McIntyre, Miz, and Baron Corbin will have a three-way. The winners of both of those three-ways will go to the main event tonight, and the winner of that match faces Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. They announced that to you, the viewer.
Yes.
Hunter then comes out, Seth Rollins comes out, and for the next 18 minutes...
They announced the same thing.
They proceed to set up the match they had already announced for us.
Oh.
This was straight out of WCW. Seth is out there with Hunter and is talking about how he slayed the beast and all of this, and Hunter says, well, there's a shake-up, and now the whole world is gunning for you. And Hunter says, don't worry about who climbs the ladder to Money in the Bank. Worry about who you're defending the belt against tonight. Seth thinks maybe, or at the pay-per-view, Seth thinks maybe it's Brock. So clearly he didn't see the big announcement on the Titantron before he came out. Hunter says, no, I've heard nothing from Brock.
So I'm going to guess that it's going to be Seth and Brock in Saudi Arabia. I don't know that. That's just my guess.
And Hunter says, we're going to find out your opponent right now. And so they proceed to bring out Joe, Ray, Drew, Miz, Corbin, and AJ, they all cut a promo, and
everyone. It never ended.
Nope, 18 full minutes.
And not one of them cut a good promo. I mean, not one of them cut a bad promo, but it was just...
They were all the same promo. I'm coming for the belt. It's my time, blah, blah, blah. And yes, so after 18 minutes, they set up the match that they had told us they were going to do at the beginning of the show. That was
weird.
That was straight out of WCW is what that was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like the left hand didn't know what the right hand did. It felt like Triple H... didn't know what they were going to do because he was like introducing it like it was the first thing. And Seth was acting like he didn't know, even though we all knew. And then the idea was they didn't announce who was in the matches. And then it was like one of those things where, in WWE where one guy comes out and one guy comes out and one guy comes out. And then it's like, okay, you're the guys, except we already knew who all the guys were as they came out. So it was kind of like this pointless 18-minute segment to the viewer.
Yes. Then, however, we got a very good three-way. Joe, AJ, and Ray had a very good match. Everybody had a chance to shine. Ray laid out both guys. Joe with this tornado pescado to the outside. Went up top for the moonsault. AJ cut him off. Joe backdropped both guys off the middle rope, which got a "This is awesome" chant. And I was watching this match, and I thought, I've got to finish. That is that Ray goes for the springboard, 6-1, or he goes 6-1 the springboard Hurricane Rana, and AJ catches him in mid-move and hits the Styles Clash. That's not quite what happened. But what happened was Ray hit the 619 on Joe. He went for the springboard on AJ. AJ grabbed him in midair, powerbombed him onto Joe, then gave him a Styles Clash onto Joe, and then AJ pinned Joe.
I think the powerbomb is what hurt Joe.
I believe it was an elbow to the nose on the powerbomb.
Yeah, because the Styles Clash was totally safe because I watched both of them back, and the powerbomb looked a little nasty, and Joe had a bloody nose and a cut on the side of his right eye, so he got he got a little messed up. So,
as much as I love this match, and as much as I argue that they beat Ray too much, why did they beat Joe?
They usually,
he's the U.S. champion. Why would AJ beat Joe? To set up an AJ-Joe match for Joe's title? That doesn't make any sense.
The problem with the championships is that their mentality is if you're a champion, that means that we can beat you because you've got a belt. So they just keep beating champions left and right, constantly on TV, which is why the belts are so meaningless, because you get a belt and all you do is lose. I mean, look at the frickin' Iconics. I mean, we can get that's in the next match or whatever anyway, but, that's the answer. I mean, it's, they have beaten Ray too much. They just had the guy, Lars Sullivan, who, destroy Ray last week. So I think that they wanted to protect him a little bit. So they went to pin Joe for that reason. And they figured Joe's U.S. champion.
I love when they have to protect a guy so they do more damage to a guy who's more important.
Well, actually, I think that Ray's more important than Joe, but
Joe's a champion.
But Joe's champion. I know. Look, you could put somebody else in. There's a lot of things you can do, but their mentality is Joe's got a belt, so he can lose. And at times there's nothing wrong with that. They just do it too much.
Yeah, if it leads to something.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's good if it leads to something, but not if you do it all the time. Even if it leads to something and you do it all the time, then it's too much. And because that's what, to me, the situation was with the Iconics. It's if you do it once, that's fine. If it leads to something, even if every one of these losses the Iconics have had, which is what three in a row, all leads to something. 3 is too many. 2 is too many. 1 is great. 1's perfect. But, when you keep beating your champions, what does that mean for the belt? It's just nothing.
Clips of John Cena co-hosting, Ellen guest hosting, actually.
He was pretty funny.
Did the entire show, it looked like.
No, he did the entire show, and he, he looked in great shape. They did a whole bunch of shirtless stuff because it's a women's audience, and yeah.
We had Naomi versus Billie Kay, or as the ring announcer announced, Peyton Billie Kay.
Is that her name?
Probably would have been a better match, quite frankly. Billie Kay.
Not any. I don't think it'd been that much better, but
This was, thankfully, it was like 10 seconds.
it was short. It was short. It was a minute 10. So it wasn't. This wasn't even the worst match on the show.
It wasn't?
No.
What was worse?
The Becky Lynch match with Alicia Fox.
Actually, that was worse. You're right.
That match was a disaster.
Dude, this match was horrible, though. And Billie Kay would, be bad on a low-level indie show, and she's here on Raw doing matches. And she's one half of the tag team champions.
And she lost again for. Okay, so I figured, when I saw this, okay, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce have lost too many times, so it's probably time for them to win. Naomi's out there on her own. So what you do is you have Peyton distract Naomi. They do a double team. Naomi loses. Then Naomi goes and finds a partner, and we get a tag match next week. And then, that gets Naomi in the game. But no, or even if Naomi's going to win and you're going to do something, Peyton should be interfering. Somebody should run out, distract Peyton, distract Billie. Naomi wins. So then you've got Naomi and this partner set up for a tag team match. That's fine too. Instead, Naomi just beats her with a sunset flip in a minute that no one's going to remember, and you just beat a champion for no reason. And you were just filling them a minute at a time. And you didn't even set up a tag team title match because Naomi beat her.
Well, if I want a fantasy book the way these people think, the Iconics would probably win the tag match. So therefore, we need to give Naomi a win. So she beats Billie Kay here. The next week she faces Peyton, and you do your finish, and she comes back with a partner for the tag match.
But then she should have lost the first one.
Well,
and then win the second one.
She beats one and then has to try and beat the other.
But that makes no sense. Then the partner should have been out there to help.
It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to them because then it's 50-50. Naomi wins the first one, she loses the second one, then they do the tag match, and she loses that one, but at least she won the first one, so then Naomi's protected.
But they should have, if they sent out the tag partner, then you've got the program going. You don't even have a program out of this yet.
No, not yet. They just started that next week when Naomi faces Peyton.
Okay, if that even happens.
Well, I have no faith in that happening.
I don't either. I mean, it could, but whatever. Maybe Naomi and Peyton and Billie Kay can do 2 pay-per-view matches on the next pay-per-view too.
Sure,
that'll be really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just awesome.
Miz and Corbin and McIntyre. This match starts, and I'm like, dear God, we had such a great opener, and now we have this match. But it actually ended up good by the end. It took a while to get the people into it, but by the end of this match, they were into this match. They believed at one point that Miz was going to submit Drew McIntyre with a figure 4 leg lock. You should have heard these people when he was in the figure 4. Yeah, and he sold, and he sold, and he sold. Finally, he punches the guy in the eye and gets out.
He poked him in the eye.
Yeah. And finally, Corbin gets sent outside. Drew hits a Claymore kick on Miz. Corbin rushes in, tosses Drew outside, steals the pin. Drew is furious. Baron Corbin is going to the main event.
Yeah.
Hell of a match, all things considered, when you have Baron Corbin and The Miz in there. This is a very good match.
I wouldn't go that far. It was good, but there was a lot of stuff in the match that was...
the yes kicks, Miz's comeback.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff when I'm watching this going like, this is like indie level. The crowd did get into it, and, the Miz has real star power, no doubt. And McIntyre's a real good worker. And Corbin didn't hurt the match at all. Corbin was fine here. He was really boring in the main event. I think he was okay here, but the idea of seeing him in a 15-minute match and then in another, what was the main event? The main event was 13 minutes. That's like a lot of Baron Corbin for one show. It was too much. But, the match was good, except I would say that Big Miz comeback, the clotheslines in the corner were good, but, the punches and the kicks, not so good.
Charlie interviewed AJ. Her question is, how do you deal with a man so big? It's like, have you never watched an AJ Styles match? That's 99% of his opponents bigger than he is.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fight in me, he says.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Isn't that what he said?
Yep. I'm a 2-time U.S. champion, 2-time world champion, longest reigning SmackDown champion in history. I didn't beat Kurt Angle, he says, but I beat John Cena. And I hope Seth Rollins is watching when they announce that I'm the winner.
You know, the scripter guys, the writers, this is one thing I'm going to knock on them right now. These interviews where a guy goes, like, if an announcer goes, this guy's like a 5-time this and a 3-time this and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's like an announcer saying something. When the guy himself says it, it just comes off so I mean, in real, you know, I'm a 3-time this and a 2-time this and you know, it's like, because they script those words so often, it's like, it's just patterned and they shouldn't be doing it. And because when AJ's doing this, it's just like, well, you know, that's for the announcer to say, you know, and it's just words. It's just say something important. So I just hated the scripting of that. I don't like a lot of the scripting of the interviews that they do, but the over-reliance on and then list all the championships that you've held. I hope that those interviews can go, because they do them way too much and they all sound the same.
Sammy came out for a promo, and
he's hilarious.
This guy is incredible.
He is so funny.
His promo was incredible. He talked about being gone and going all over the world.
The ring entrance. His ring entrance is awesome because he's out there mocking his old ring entrance. He's overdoing it. The people still cheer him, and he's so obviously just like mocking it. It's like great. Sammy
is one of those guys where when you tell a guy that as a wrestler he should turn himself up to 10, he turned himself up to 20. That's the Sami Zayn character here. He's so over the top. He cuts his promo burying the fans. I loved the promo, but when it was over, it was like, okay, it's been weeks now. What's the point of all of this? Aside from getting heat on a show where they get heat incessantly. Like, where are we going here?
I don't know. When Cedric Alexander came out and they kind of like went face off, I go, oh, this is cool. Sami Zayn and Cedric Alexander. And then like 5 minutes later, it was like, well, I hope they don't do Sami Zayn and Cedric Alexander. So,
well, we had Cesaro and Cedric Alexander, and I really liked this match. Cesaro,
it was fine, but if Cedric Alexander's going to be wrestling Sami Zayn, he shouldn't have lost so easily to Cesaro.
Goes out there and smashes right up Cesaro's alley. Big man, little man. He throws the guy around. He can show even more of his strength than usual. Beat the hell out of this guy. Alexander makes a big comeback. Cesaro sells great for smaller guys. Ends up outside. Alexander hits a big flip dive. Goes for the springboard. Cesaro hits the uppercut out of midair. Pins him. Yes, probably shouldn't have beaten Cedric Alexander if he's going to face Sammy, but damn, this was a good match.
Really good looking finish. Especially when they showed the replay. So well timed. Yeah. I mean, for a short match, this was real good. They did the best with what they were given. Yeah.
Charlie with the Usos, they're running down the tag teams on Raw while also making jokes about not drinking and driving.
Well, they have had those problems.
That's comedy here on this WWE show, according to these people. Dash and Dawson show up. They say they're the best tag team in the history of SmackDown. This is Raw. The Usos pretend they fell asleep and then welcome them to the penitentiary. This led to nothing. Presumably they'll wrestle next week. But
yeah, but that's going to be a great feud.
The Viking Raiders were supposed to face a Lucha House Party, but they attacked them before the bell, so I guess this wasn't really a match. But they beat the hell out of them. And the Viking Experience is now their move, where it's a backdrop into a power slam.
Why didn't they just do the Fallout? The Fallout was much cooler.
I don't know. So they also changed his name from Ivar to Ivar.
Okay, I guess.
For those of you taking notes, yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
I did.
Yeah, I don't know. They gave Ray Rowe had like this blonde wig that he didn't wrestle in, and so Ray Rowe is
Eric.
He's Eric. Okay, I got to get this straight.
I'm never going to figure this out. It's always going to be Ray Rowe and Hansen.
I know Ray Rowe and Hansen, but okay. So Ivar or is it Ivar?
Well, it was Ivar last week. Now it's Ivar.
What'll it be next week?
It could be anything.
Hopefully it's Hansen.
I wish.
that way, every time I see him, I think Hansen. So it's going to take a while for me to.
Maybe we can just pretend it's Eric Rowe and Ivar Hansen, and we can still keep using the last names.
I guess
because they weren't given last names.
It's like
We never learned Hansen's actual first name.
Todd.
Well, I know this is his real name.
Definitely, he was originally Todd Hansen.
Okay, well, now he's Ivar Hansen.
Then they dropped Todd. So anyway, yeah, I mean, this change for the sake of change is like, I don't know. It's not a big deal, but it's just like, I'm all for changes for the better. But WWE does, like, I would say 70% of the changes are for the worst. So it's like, why change when the original's better? There's no way that, you give these goofy Nordic names. It's not going to get them any more over. If anything, it makes them more of a cartoon.
Hawkins and Ryder interviewed. Are they scared? No, they say. We earned these titles. And then Zach says they're not going to allow these horny, woolly mammoths to take what they've got.
Oh, God. I wanted to shoot the scriptwriter when Zach was given that line.
Holy smokes.
Was it horny? Where was that?
There was one other word, but...
Yeah, I just have scripted horrible. Where's the... Smelly, horny, woolly mammals.
Yes. Woolly mammals? It should be woolly mammoths.
Mammoths, yes. Woolly mammoths. You're right.
I mean, they are woolly mammals as well, but...
Yeah.
At a Becky promo, she's made a career of slapping bleached blondes that have curried favor from management. Lacey Evans is a new version of an old approach. This Charlotte being a favorite of management is like Brock Lesnar not wanting to come to work. Like, they've convinced fans that this is real.
Well, the fans thought it was real, and they're going with it, actually. The fans actually did this one first. They're following the fans. The fans believe that she's the favorite of management, so they're playing that. Since Charlotte's a heel, so it's fine to do. So I do got to say this for Lacey Evans. I think that she really handled herself well in this promo, especially with Becky, who's like a really strong promo, and you're getting scripted, and it's hard to.
I guess she handled herself well.
I thought she did. I thought
she got the what treatment throughout her entire interview. They weren't even listening to a word she said.
Well, I thought she did a good job. And the other thing with her, another thing I can say good for her is, like, when you look at, I mean, she's always in a dress, so it's hard to tell, but her back and arms are very muscular. Okay. So that tells me that this, which is hard for a woman. Okay. So she probably trains her freaking ass off. So that's always a good thing too. She looks like an athlete. I mean, they love her. I'm not so sure that, like, time will tell. Time will tell if she's going to make it or not. They've loved a lot of people. Some of them make it. Most of them don't. She's the new project. I'm not convinced on her, but, she's clearly got a great work ethic. And she did well on the promo. She didn't suck in the ring with Natalya last week. But she didn't exactly shine either, and the people were bored during the match. So the jury is very much out on her, but she's getting a championship match on the next pay-per-view. That's already a done deal.
So we had Becky versus Alicia. This match sucked. They come back from commercial, and the match completely falls apart. Becky tries to tilt-a-whirl. They fall down. Becky tries to disarm her. Alicia's not going for it. She throws Becky into the ropes and just yells, "Get out!" So Becky gets out of the ring. She stands on the floor, and Alicia's in the ring. Becky's on the floor. Time stands still. Finally, they get back in the ring, and Becky hits two exploders, puts her in the disarmer, submits her, and that's the end of the match. Man,
Alicia looked really bad. Because it felt to me, after the first botch, which I felt, the first botch looked like it was Alicia's fault. After that, they both were just, I think they just got lost. So, this match was not good.
So then Lacey hits the ring, hits the woman's right, hits it again, and yeah. People hated that Charlotte and Ronda thing, but it's a billion times better than this mess.
Yeah. I mean, Lacey's not going to be as good as Charlotte, that's for sure.
And Alicia Fox was not Ronda Rousey tonight.
She's only been in the ring 11 years longer than Ronda Rousey. There's something to be said for people who are quick learners. And slow learners.
Charlie's with Baron Corbin. Corbin, he actually buries her for talking for 30 seconds and not even asking a question at the end. And he vowed to win the main event tonight and go on to Money in the Bank. Ricochet, Bobby Roode. So Bobby Roode's now got this giant mustache. He actually looks like Silas Young. I think he's supposed to look like Rick Rude, but he looks more like Silas Young.
He looks like Joey Ryan.
Kind of does, yeah. So Corey's trying to spout this line about how there's going to be a spike in pregnancies tonight after women see Rude's beard, and he cracked himself up.
Actually, I mean, I actually wrote that he looked like Joey Ryan, but you know who he really looked like? It was Don Fry.
Kind of. Yeah. I think that's what he was going for, but maybe Don Fry third behind Joey Ryan and Silas Young. So
I don't
anyway,
think he looked anything like Silas Young.
Facially, he did. He doesn't have the hair. Facially, he did.
I don't. Facially,
yeah.
I don't think they look anything alike.
I thought they did with this mustache.
Okay.
Ricochet, it's a moonsault off the post for the break. Comeback commercial. Rude has the heat. Ricochet makes his comeback and then avoids DDT, goes up top, misses the 630. Rude sends him into the post, DDTs him, and pins Ricochet.
Yeah.
I did not expect that finish.
Nor did I. I don't even know what to make of it. I even asked about it, and I was told, don't worry about it. They just aren't thinking. It's not. It's like there's no directive to bury the guy, which at first I thought, what did he do? Other than his mom's house burned down. I don't know what he did this week. But, because originally the whole directive when they were together was you don't beat, Vince's first thing when he brought those guys up is we don't ever beat these guys, or we're not beating these guys. And obviously that is no longer the case. They're no longer his shiny new toys. And now Bobby Roode is Robert Roode is somebody's idea of a shiny new toy, and Ricochet lost.
Well, then we had the Firefly Funhouse, everybody. Bray Wyatt is the host of a kids show with an alleged live studio audience filled with kids laughing and cheering.
Mr. Rogers.
No. I was a big fan of Mr. Rogers growing up. He had no live studio audience. I don't know what you could compare this to.
Well, I think it's Mr. Rogers has a movie coming out. I think it's supposed to be a little bit of Mr. Rogers.
Well, he introduces us to his friends, Mercy the Buzzard, who is in fact a puppet, so maybe it is Mr. Rogers, and Peppy the Witch. Says, I used to be a bad guy. I've been punished for my wrongdoings. I'm a new man now. I've kept some reminders, so I'll never become that creep Bray Wyatt again. He has a Bray cutout. He gets a chainsaw, cuts the head off with a chainsaw. Kids squeal. And he says, I'll always light the way. You just have to let me in. Well, if they wanted to repackage Bray Wyatt, this is definitely as different as you can get.
They definitely did. He also looks like he's been...
he is in much better shape.
He looked like he's been lifting a lot of weight in his time off, and he looked like he changed himself physically. Yeah.
So there you go, the Firefly Funhouse. We'll see where this goes.
It's different. It
is absolutely different. For those people that were sick of Bray Wyatt, you asked for it. Now you've got the Firefly Funhouse. It is very different. Well,
we'll see. This one's either going to be a hit or a miss. I don't think it's going to be an in-between.
It will not be in between.
Yeah, it's either going to be... It's either going to be
The Undertaker or Papa Shango.
Oh, when you say that, I think it's going to be Papa Shango. I hate to say.
There you go.
Of the two, but we'll see.
Have AJ versus Baron Corbin. They had a match.
I'm trying to think if this is the worst AJ Styles match I've seen in the last 5 years. I kept thinking that when I was watching, I never see AJ in a bad match. I never do. What's going on here?
Well, what's going on is Baron Corbin. They had a boring match, and then AJ hit the forearm and won. Seth came out face-to-face. That's the end of the show.
Well, I mean, the one good thing is Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, especially if AJ's got a couple more weeks to heal up, that match should be outstanding.
Yep, and it did get a big pop for the finish. I will give them that. But the match
they got
itself,
a pop for the finish, and they got a pop for the calf crusher about a minute or two before the finish. So the people did want to see AJ win, but they just didn't really care about the match.
No. So that's Raw, everybody. And SmackDown tomorrow, we got a Becky Charlotte face to face. And what else did they announce for tomorrow? I don't even remember.
Kofi Kingston.
Probably doesn't even matter. It'll change.
Kofi Kingston and Nakamura. Yeah, it'll change. Let's go to Raw.
Let's do this. It's got to be done, dude. It's Raw. So Alexa Bliss comes out to announce the Money in the Bank participants and takes a long time to explain what the Money in the Bank ladder match actually is. So she calls out the four guys. It's Braun Strowman, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. Gets booed out of the building. And Corbin starts doing this promo, and Ricochet cuts him off, saying he's going to fail to cash in again, and Corbin's burying Ricochet. Drew then starts burying Corbin. They're all bitching at each other, and Braun tells him to shut up and says, how about a preview tonight? It'll be you two versus myself and Ricochet. So even though Corbin and Drew were arguing with each other for 15 straight minutes there, they're still okay teaming up together. And it's Corbin and Drew versus Ricochet and Braun, and they have a match.
So anyway, I think this is one of the things with WWE is like you can tell tonight. I mean, and it's been the case, but you can really tell tonight watching the show how there is no such thing as planning past a couple of days.
Of course not.
I mean, but it's like it's even more obvious because like Ricochet's in the Money in the Bank match. Okay, now make sense out of that from what happened last week.
Nothing. Not only that, he lost to Bobby Roode on the show last week,
who was never even mentioned.
He's not on this show at all.
He's not on a promo.
It's like he doesn't exist.
Maybe Vince got tired of him.
Why did they beat Ricochet last week? I mean, there's no use getting upset about it because it's going to be like the weekly show.
So why did Rey Mysterio lose in a minute if he's getting a U.S. title program? To the guy he's losing, he lost in a minute at WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year, to the guy who he's now going to do a program with.
Hey, last week on SmackDown, we had Charlotte and Bayley in a number one contenders match, and Charlotte won. So tomorrow it's Bayley versus Becky in a non-title match.
Yeah, but it's a non-title match.
Yeah, but I mean, so if she wins, then what? She should be in a championship match, right?
She's probably not going to win.
I know, but it's just ridiculous.
That one's not so bad.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you're going to do a number one contenders match and somebody loses,
no. If they announce that Bayley and Becky Lynch is a number one contenders match, but they didn't. She's just doing it. It's just a TV match, so that's not so bad.
Hold on a second. Just because they didn't announce it's a number one contenders match, the presumption isn't that if she beats Becky in a non-title match, she should get a championship match?
Well, then they could make it. I mean, logically, it ain't going to happen. She's because Becky Lynch is going to beat her because that's Bayley's new role, probably. You know, because
or Charlotte could cost her the match because it's non-title, or Lacey Evans could cost her the match because it's non-title.
I guess, yeah, they could do that too. But I mean, I can't. You know, in theory, you could put Bayley in and make it a three-way, but they're not going to do that. But I mean, it's like if Becky Lynch is going to do a match. There's no reason, you know, the only one that you wouldn't want her to do a match with is Charlotte, so she could do it with anyone else. God only knows, you know why you would beat Bayley 2 weeks in a row when she's first starting, but they don't care about Bayley. That's been established for a long time, you know. But so I think that's what the whole idea is like we're going to put maybe after that terrible Becky Lynch match last week, they feel that we got to put Becky Lynch in a good match. So who do we got on the roster? And they're going, well, Asuka's in a tag team, so we can't possibly do that. So now that we've eliminated Asuka and probably Kairi Sane because they probably don't even realize how great she is. So who else is the best worker on the Smack? It can't be Charlotte. So the next one down would probably be Bayley. So it's like you want her to have a good match with someone that she can beat, you know, that, you know, for whatever reason, you know, I'm sure you don't want to beat Kairi Sane right now, so she can, and certainly Bayley she can beat because that's all they do with Bayley is beat her. So that makes sense.
Well, one way or the other, Ricochet wins this match. They beat on him forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and finally he makes the tag. Braun goes nuts, and Drew goes for the Claymore kick. Baron blind tags his way in. Ricochet avoids a chokeslam. McIntyre punches Corbin, walks out on his partner. Braun hits a power slam. Ricochet hits a shooting star press and wins. So there you go.
So earlier in the match, McIntyre did this awesome running Claymore kick on the floor on Strowman. And Ricochet had to work by himself for a couple minutes. And Strowman comes back. Not selling it at all, but there you go. But I mean, he did lay down for a while. But this match was probably about as good as anything that was on the show.
Usos come out. They're trying to get the people to dance, but nobody's dancing.
It'll take time. It'll work because they got a lot of charisma.
This leads to Gallows and Anderson versus the Usos. We're 3 weeks into the Superstar shakeup. People are still shuffling around on different brands.
So, okay. SmackDown needs tag teams, so I got no idea why they brought these guys over.
Well, they weren't using them on SmackDown anyway, so what the hell does it matter?
I know, but SmackDown needs tag teams real bad, though. If you look at they got nothing. They got, like, Nakamura and Rusev, and, like, that's it. So, I guess we'll find out tomorrow what the situation is with Jeff Hardy. I mean, and what they're going to do with the SmackDown tag team titles.
So here's my first big issue with this show. This match was not bad at all. I don't want to say anything negative about the match, but...
The match was a solid pro wrestling match.
Every WWE match is so patterned that we saw an opening match where they got the heat on Ricochet for an hour, and then they come right back with another tag team match, and they get the heat on Jimmy for an hour. It's the exact same match. And there's nothing special about it. It's just the WWE pattern, and I'm watching 2 of them in a row.
Yeah, it's true. That's the one thing with WWE, that it's like everyone, I don't want to say everyone works the same, but because that's not true.
It's not it's that there's an incredible sameness to the pattern of all of the matches.
Right. There's not all of the matches, but probably 80% have a certain sameness to them, and like if you watch,
I'd like to hear the other 20%.
No, when they do squash matches and stuff.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about any match of any value is the exact same match.
Sometimes they do my turn, your turn, long-term matches. They do that sometimes. But as a general rule, maybe it's 85%. Yeah, but it's there's definitely this pattern that if you watch, which is one of the reasons why when you watch a 3-hour show, it can get old, because there's sort of flow. And it's not a bad flow, and it's not bad psychology, and it all makes sense, but they don't vary from it enough, so it gets very repetitive.
So Jay got the hot tag, and the heels go for the magic killer, but get double super kicked, and then Jay hit a dive on Anderson outside. Gallows got hit with the big splash and pinned, and the fans were into the last couple of minutes. And then the Usos had promised something we had never seen before tonight. So they point to the big screen, and there is a video from earlier of the Revival in their locker room. And the Usos...
They're in the bathroom, not in the locker room.
Whatever. They're wherever they're changing. And the Usos say, check this out. And it is Dash shaving Dawson's back.
And they're in towels.
And they laugh.
It's trying to make this reference like that they're these two gay guys. That's the reference. That they can't say that, but that's the thing they want you to think. And then Dawson comes out that we're real men and all that. So that was like the idea.
Dawson comes out and Dash, and they're men. They've got body hair. They've got large backs. They can't reach it. So I asked my teammate, my best friend, to give me a little help, and he obliged. Dash says, we have our others back. This is dying to the audience, by the way.
Well, that's once you see that, you're pretty much going to die. I think that was the idea of the segment to begin with.
To kill the crowd?
No, to kill them. Not necessarily
Well, they're already largely dead to this crowd, but... So anyway, they got a tag match later with the champions, they said, and when they're done, they want the Usos.
So that makes sense now, doesn't it?
Well, maybe they won't get the Usos.
So why'd they do the angle?
I don't know. They'll forget by next week. Miz out for Miz TV, calls out Bobby Lashley, and we have No
Leo Rush.
What have you done? Well, Miz says, I won this title, that title, this title, that title. Your favorite.
Well, Bobby did it. First, Miz started by saying that Bobby Lashley. This actually promo was like the writer of this promo probably should be shot. So anyway, because first he has Miz just on and on about how Bobby Lashley's an underachiever, and so Bobby Lashley goes, I've only been here a year and I've won the Intercontinental Championship 2 times. Okay, so he's doing the whatever. So then Miz goes, I've been 8-time Intercontinental Champion and 2-time U.S. Champion and 7-time tag team champion. The whole just brutal stuff, right? But the best part was Miz goes, I'm an underachiever. And I main evented WrestleMania, and I was WWE champion and all that.
No, he says I'm an overachiever. Have you seen my life?
I'm an overachiever. Right? If you saw my wife, and then he goes, "I'm not anywhere close to the athlete you are," and it's like, oh God.
Yes, he says I won the WWE title and all these other belts, and quote, I did all of that without a shred of your athletic ability.
Can you imagine?
Like, wow. I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not a bad athlete, but I mean,
compared to Lashley?
Well, no, compared to Lashley.
He was comparing himself to Lashley. He said, I don't have a shred of your athletic ability, and he's correct.
Well, he doesn't have a shred of his genetics, but nobody does. But,
so, Lashley talks about Shane McMahon putting a beating on his baked potato-faced father and said you had a chance for revenge and you screwed it up. No wonder your father thinks you're worthless. So Miz attacks him, starts throwing chairs at him. They have a match, and my God, this match. I normally can't handle Miz's horrible kicks, but this is Lashley. He's an MMA fighter. Miz is doing these totally fake kicks, and he's got to sell it. It's so horrible. And then Shane McMahon comes out, and everybody knows what the finish is going to be. Shane distracts the guy, Lashley gets the pin. But they know you know that, so Shane distracts him, and he doesn't get pinned. Shane distracts him a second time, he doesn't get pinned. Shane distracts him a third time, and he finally gets pinned, and it's like, that was such a waste of my life. You didn't fool me. Let's just get it over with. And so,
hey, look, you can't. The match only went 2.5 minutes anyway.
My God, well, he was out there 10 seconds in then.
Yeah, I mean, it's
literally 3 distractions to finally pin the guy.
Okay, but here's the flip side is that
this is the opposite of a Kento Miyahara match.
Yeah, well,
felt like it went 15 minutes. It went 3.
It was the opposite of a Kento Miyahara match. But the thing is that so it's like it only went 3 minutes, and so it's not like, you know what I mean? It's like you should be happy you got it over with.
No, because I wanted it over with in 30 seconds. That's how bad this was.
It was bad, but they didn't go out there for 15 minutes. And
well, hey, I got something for you.
Yes.
So afterwards, Shane starts beating up the Miz. He throws the worst punches you've ever seen. Either misses by a mile or she stiffs him. There's no middle ground with Shane.
Okay. I got a question. Okay, I know Shane's not really a trained worker, in one sense, but he's been doing this for 20 years.
Yes.
I mean, isn't there a point where, because you were trained, okay, but it's is there a point where you kind of learn how to do it? Do you know what I mean? It's like I used to think, well, it's Shane. He's not a trained worker, and he's a daredevil, and sometimes his matches are really, really good because he'll just do crazy things, but his fundamentals are god awful. Okay, that's fine. But now it's it's 20 years. I mean, you would think that maybe he would tone down on the daredevil stuff, and I think he has a little bit because of those injuries that he got last year, or earlier this year, I should say. But his fundamentals, never got better.
No, they're horrible. So, the point of this is, he's killing this poor guy, or not touching him, and he puts him in his reverse triangle gimmick or whatever.
Oh, God. But so his submissions, that's another one. How long does it take to do, fake jiu-jitsu when the other guy's, not resisting? I mean, I don't know. I don't know because I've never tried. But I mean...
to learn how to do it?
But I mean, just to
10 minutes.
To do it to do it where it's sort of smoothish, you know what I mean? Where it's okay, you're not going to be a real jiu-jitsu guy, but just kind of be able to again, to do it for real. Of course, it's going to take years and years and years unless you're a prodigy, right? But this isn't about doing it for real. This is just about being able to do it to a willing opponent, and just kind of if I'm there with you, okay, but well, okay, you know how to do it. But that's my point is
I could have you put it on me smoothly in 10 minutes.
Okay, well, he's been doing this. Okay, now he hasn't been doing this for 20 years, but he's been doing this for a couple of years. And I watch him go into these submissions, and it's just God, this is terrible too.
Well, my point to all of this is, later on in the show, I'm going to cut to the Miz promo. Miz does a promo, and he says, we fought all over the place at WrestleMania, but at Money in the Bank, I want to stay in the ring. I am challenging Shane McMahon to a cage match. Okay, So,
When
do
was
you
the last
realize...
time? When was the last time we had a cage match where people stayed in the cage?
Well, the bigger issue is, do you realize how much smoke and mirrors there was for these two guys when they brawled all over the building and had all sorts of gimmicks to cover up for the fact that they are horrible with each other? Now you're going to lock them in a cage, and they have to just be inside the ring.
Well, they're going to get out of the.
They better have 50 tables and 80 chairs, and
they will,
and the door open. I mean,
they're going to go out, and Shane's going to jump off the cage or something. So, I mean, they'll make it work, but yeah, I mean, the one thing I do have to say is, and I guess maybe part of it was the fact that Miz was so bad in his match, and Shane was so bad in what he was doing. But and the WrestleMania match wasn't very good. It's kind of like, okay, they have a feud and they did have a good storyline and everything. But to me, it was like, okay, WrestleMania to me was like the blow off. And it's like, can we move? I just have this feeling like we need to move on from this. And here we are. And I guess, I mean,
well, the heel won at Mania, so we're not moving on.
Yeah, but Shane won, you know what I mean? Don't you think... So Miz is going to get to win this one?
I presume so, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Just to me, it's like I'm over it. And this segment did not make me change my mind and go, oh, man, they got me back again. I really want to see this match. It was kind of like, I'm over it. You know, it was fun while it lasted, sort of. And then they announced the cage match, and my reaction was like, why? It's like they needed all the help they could get before, so now we're going to have a gimmick-filled cage match. It'll probably be okay, but it's like the feud's past its peak. But I guess they need something for Miz.
All right, so we had the War Raiders destroy the Lucha House Party, just squash. They look good. Didn't have another name change this week, so... that's at least good, I guess. Iconics video. Then Alexa Bliss comes out again, and it's time to name the women. We've got Natalya, Dana Brooke, Naomi, and of course, finally, Alexa announces herself, and all of these women are just so catty, and they're yelling at each other, and screaming back and forth, and finally, Alexa Bliss, who is supposed to be a heel, says, "Can we get off these catty arguments and get them off my show?" And everybody cheers. And then they start arguing about who's going to be the champ. And Alexa says, "You guys are worse than the men." And everybody cheers. Gives them a guilt trip about taking time away from the fourth woman, of course, is herself. And then, exactly like the opener, Naomi says, "Let's give the WWE Universe a little preview tonight." But it's only a singles match, so they announce Alexa versus Naomi. Alexa doesn't want to do it. She says, "I don't have my right attire on, including my shoes, which I borrowed." Did she really borrow these shoes? Was that the problem?
I don't know. She couldn't keep them tied.
It was a disaster. We'll get to the match after the...
Okay, so what's Dana Brooke doing in this match?
Well, apparently she got cheered a lot on Main Event.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, what's Dana Brooke doing in this match?
I don't know. I can't answer the question.
Okay, because, I mean, it was like, there's, like, a bunch of women on that roster, and, you know, like, whether it's Sarah Logan, who's a really good worker, or Ruby Riott, who's a good worker. And it's not like Dana Brooke does get that sympathy cheer from like some of the promos that she does, but it's not like anyone's really clamoring for her to be in Money in the Bank, I don't think. But maybe that's, I mean, I know that they're booking by listening to the audience, and that's the deal, but I don't know. As soon as I saw that, it's like, I mean, I guess it could be worse. And there's going to be other women in there. I just can imagine who's going to be in on the other side.
Firefly.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow night. Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow night. But I just like, okay, we got. I mean, Naomi's good, and Natalya's fine, and Alexa. I mean, Alexa had such a bad match tonight, and then Dana. It's kind of like, is this how you entice us to want to see Money in the Bank?
We have the Firefly Funhouse. Bray's a painter this week. He painted a picture of the cabin burning down. Witch tells him not to fool around. He's sorry for what he did. Asks the kids if they forgive him. They cheer. "I'll light the way," he says. "All you kids have to do is let me in." Much creepier. I shouldn't say creepier. Darker than last week.
Yeah, but you knew that's the direction it was going.
Yeah. So, yes, here was the famous Alexa Naomi match. So Alexa wrestles in her shoes after all.
This is a famous match. This will be a famous match.
And as she's wrestling, the shoes get untied, and she's stepping on the laces. And so, literally, she sits down in the middle of the match. She starts to tie her shoes, but it's taking a long time, so she gets up. And during this match, we had 2 long chin locks. I don't even know why. And all I could think was...
Your laces were untied.
I was thinking, like, put her in the chin lock and have the ref tie your damn shoes. Like, just focus the camera on Alexa's face, have the referee tie her stupid shoes...
Well, then you should have been on the frickin' headphones instead of Vince.
I probably should. I couldn't figure out why the ref wasn't tying her damn shoes. They're sitting in a chin lock for 5 minutes. So finally, Naomi makes the comeback, and now the shoes fall off. And so now Alexa is trying to get her shoes back, which actually makes me think the whole shoelace thing was just a spot from the beginning. And she goes for the shoes, and Naomi hits a rear view, which the fans booed, by the way. And then Naomi hits the split-legged moonsault for the pin. This was a mess.
This is bad. This was really bad.
We have Kayla with Ray and Dominic. Dominic's back, so they've started up with a just stopped dead in its tracks before WrestleMania when Ray had his deal. So Ray cuts his promo. He was embarrassed at WrestleMania, let his friends and family, and most importantly his son down, who, as we are well aware, is not friend or family. He's Eddie Guerrero's son. But he has to leave that in the past.
Not in real life.
No, but in storyline.
In storyline,
this is canon. He's Eddie's son. He's a better man. He's going to prove it against Samoa Joe. Becky comes out for a promo with Kayla. Becky 2 belts chance. Kayla's brilliant question is, was it impulsive to say you'd defend both belts at the pay-per-view? And she says, of course I'm going to defend 2 belts. I'm a fighting champion. Kayla says, well, what about the odds? Becky says, I wouldn't be double champ if I cared about the odds. I main evented WrestleMania. I beat the unbeatable Ronda Rousey. I'm not dodging anybody. I'm going to beat everybody. I'll beat Lacey and Charlotte. Kayla then says, do you think maybe Lacey will knock you out at the show? Becky grabs the mic, calls out Lacey. They get in a brawl. Actually, it was a decent brawl.
It was a good brawl. It was a good brawl. Yeah,
and the guys come down to break it up, and they break through the guys and brawl. It was a very formulaic WWE brawl, but they did a good job.
Yeah. Sanjay Dutt appearance.
Every time he makes an appearance, I'm waiting for him to, like, be moved over in the shakeup. But then I realize he's just an agent. Like, oh my God, there's Sanjay Dutt. Oh, he's just pulling them apart.
Yeah.
This is like the second week I think he's been out there. Hawkins and Ryder versus the Revival. They have heat on Ryder forever. Exactly the same as all the other tag matches. But they did do something different here. And that is, they beat on Ryder all match. He never even makes a hot tag. He gets a win with a crucifix out of nowhere. 20 years in this business. Michael Cole calls it a backslide. And that's the match.
Well, it wasn't. It was close to a backslide.
It was a crucifix. He laid on the guy and he
I know,
crucified his arms and pulled him over.
I know, but it was close. It really was. It was close.
Well, next time someone hits a Michinoku driver, I'm going to call it a body slam because it's close.
You're right, but it was close. I was saying, like, when he said it, it's like, you're close, but it's not quite what it was. Yeah. That does, I guess, so did Zack Ryder get, like, completely new music or something?
I wasn't even paying attention to the music.
Okay, well, it was definitely not music that I recognized. So, but then again, I mean, he may have gotten it 6 months ago because, for all I know, like, how many times has Zach been on Raw?
Are we sure he was playing his music and not
Kurt Hawkins' music? No. I mean, maybe it's Ryder. Maybe it's their tag team's music.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe the tag team's got music. But anyway, yeah, they're not over as tag team champions. The match was fine. But this is now we're in the third hour, and I'm just thinking, like, you're the only thing that they're advertising. Okay, they did advertise the contract signing and Samoa Joe with Ray, and Samoa Joe with Ray would be fine if Samoa Joe hadn't beaten Ray in 1 minute at WrestleMania. So I'm not too. I don't know if I like the prospects of hour 3 here.
All right, so speaking of hour 3, I want to make this very, very clear because I don't want to read stupid stuff online tomorrow. I love Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn's character is incredible. I love Sami Zayn entrance. I think Sami Zayn is an incredible promo. With all of that praise out of the way, this is death. This is a massive turnoff segment here. It was fun for the first couple of weeks. Now it's been 3 straight weeks. He's out there just yelling at the fans for 10 minutes.
Too long.
In the third hour, I
long.
could just see people shutting off in massive numbers in the middle of this promo. Like, we got to move on to something now. I think his promos are great, but dude, it's too much now. How can you sit through this after 2 hours? He's just yelling at you for 2 hours.
I don't know.
A big long promo. I zoned out.
I wasn't. It was. I mean, his promo was good, but it was too long.
It's too long. It has been the same thing for 3 weeks. It's not even like someone's coming out to yell at him. It's not even like it leads to a match. It's Sammy comes out, he yells at you, and then he goes away.
By the way, we didn't on this one. So Leo Rush wasn't with Bobby Lashley, and he was removed from Bobby Lashley, and he's not on the air, and he's not mentioned, and I don't know what's going on officially, although he did remove WWE from his Instagram, somebody told me before the show. But I know that, there was a bunch of stuff, last week when, he basically feels that he's underutilized, that he should be a bigger star, and he's voiced that, and so the decision was made that since he wants to be a bigger star, then they're not going to do anything with him, I guess. Or maybe they'll repackage him, I don't know. But he feels that he's not correctly used. Also feels he should be a babyface. All kinds of things. But anyway, that's the deal with Leo Rush. He's gone. So that probably, if Leo Rush had been in that segment going back and forth with Miz, maybe they wouldn't have had to script such a, because the one thing Leo Rush is he doesn't do promos like everybody else. So maybe it would have been better, but there you go.
Samoa Joe versus Ray. This definitely went longer than WrestleMania, and Ray made a big comeback. Springboard tornado DDT for a near fall, hit a 619 to the gut, went another to the face, but got caught. Fought his way free, and finally Joe goes for this Uranage, and Ray slips behind, and he's trying to cradle him for the pin, but he's got to lift Joe's legs up, and Joe's legs are very heavy. It took him forever to get the legs up, and the ref finally counted, and poor Joe was on his back for like 5 seconds. And Joe gets pinned, and all I know is when it was over, Joe and Dominic are celebrating, and the announcers...
Ray and Dominic.
And the announcers are playing it up, like this was their exact words, it is retribution for Rey Mysterio Jr. So they didn't play it up like this is the beginning of a feud. They played it up like, well, he got his non-title win over Joe, and now we're going to move on. So I guess we'll see if they move on, or if there was no reason for them to put over that this was retribution for Ray.
It's probably just something Vince wanted him to say. I can't imagine that he beats Joe and it's not setting up another match. That makes no sense, but then again, nothing does, so...
Yeah, don't look for sense on this show.
Anything's possible. But it's like, if you were doing a sensible program between these two, number one, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, Ray wouldn't have lost to Joe. WrestleMania, Ray wouldn't have lost to Joe in 1 minute. You would, and this non-title win that would have happened at the pay-per-view before WrestleMania to set up WrestleMania to begin with.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes. So finally, we had Michael Cole with AJ and Seth Rollins for a contract signing. I have no idea why Michael Cole was there. He comes out and he literally just says, "What would the title mean to you, AJ?" AJ's like, dude, that's the whole reason I came here. Says, I was on SmackDown for 2 years. It was great for me. Do I want the Universal title? Sometimes people do strange things to get what they want. I'm stronger, faster, younger. Or he says, people say that about Seth. They say Seth, people say he's going to be the next AJ because he's stronger, younger, faster. But the hard truth is he will never be AJ Styles. Seth says, I don't want to be AJ. I want to be the first Seth Rollins.
Okay, so it's like, why do they have to do that line right out of that movie?
They've done this line for 1,000 years.
Yeah, but this was like right out of the movie, like the Rock thing, saying in the Fighting with My Family movie that they played the clip of so many times. So they're saying it, and I'm going like, I just seen this clip of this exact line over and over and over and over again. I mean, it's like, don't script that again. But they did.
So AJ signs, and then Seth signs, and AJ looks at the belt, wants a handshake. Seth just raises the belt over his head and says, this is as close as you're ever getting to the title. AJ attacks him. Seth makes a comeback, hits a big dive. Challenges AJ to get back in the ring, so AJ ends up on the apron, gives Seth a phenomenal forearm, putting him through a table, and then poses with the belt. And
that wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but crowd was quiet for a lot of it.
The crowd was real quiet. Well, part of it, I think maybe some was face versus face. I think maybe some was, we've seen a zillion contract signings, and it's just not anything to get people excited over when you're 3 hours into a show.
Not only that, but people are expecting like a main event. Like, what's the main event? Oh, it's two dudes talking.
Yeah,
and that's what they got. So
yeah. The crowd was pretty quiet through the whole thing. It felt too long, but that's another reason why I don't know. I don't think the third hour clicked at all, but they're probably going to have a hell of a match. I mean, I sure
hope so.
I'm sure they will.
I thought him and Nakamura were going to have a great match at WrestleMania, and it was very average.
Yeah, it was a little better than average, but I know what you mean. It definitely wasn't what you would expect. None of the AJ Nakamura matches were, because the ones before, it's like, okay, they're not doing it because they're waiting for WrestleMania. But then WrestleMania came, and it was nothing great either. I just think Nakamura, he's just out there, kind of like waiting to go home and surf. That's the whole deal.